Heisman finalists were just announced. Brett McMurphy reporting. Brett McMurphy's been on one this week. Let's just call it what it is. He ruined ESPN Sunshine, and
hilarious.
Then he's now doing the Heisman. But per Brett McMurphy, he says that the Heisman finalists are quarterback DeLeone Gabriel out of Oregon, Travis Hunter, the DB wide receiver utility guy out of Colorado, Ashton Jeanty, the running back out of Boise State, and Cam Ward, the quarterback out of Miami. Joe, of the four finalists, number one, who do you think is going to win in here? And do you think anybody got snubbed?
I don't think anyone got snubbed. Interesting that they went with four guys in the field, and I think that these are the most four deserving to be in the conversation. But this has to go to Travis Hunter. We're not going to see what Travis Hunter did this season for a very long time, and we haven't seen anyone do what he did for a very long time up until he started playing at Colorado and at Jackson State. The ability to be a top 5 receiver and a top 5 cornerback, some might argue the best cornerback in the country, for him to be able to do that at such a high level is ridiculous. Anyone who tries to put out the whole argument of, oh, he's just got the most snaps played and snaps isn't a stat. You bozos don't know how the sport works. You didn't play the game. It is impossible to have the stamina to play as much as he does. What Ashton Jeanty did statistically is impressive, but we need to remind ourselves he's running past a bunch of dudes that are going to be accountants, working at Enterprise, going to be lawyers that aren't going to be playing in the NFL. Travis Hunter is accomplishing what he is in a Power 4 conference at an insane level and is going to go on to play at an insane level in the NFL.
Playoff team right now. They're a playoff team.
Look, I get that. I know you're saying that facetiously, but
very facetiously. But look, let me just say this about Travis Hunter. I fully agree with you. Look, I think in the world of sport today, we talk everything college football here, but to get outside of that, the Shohei Ohtanis of the world are insane.
Mm-hmm.
The Paul Skeens before they shut him down and they just made him pitch. I mean, that is purely insane. We see it more now, but I never thought we would see it in football. It's different in baseball, right? Like it's different in the sense, Joe, of that in baseball, you're not physically being hit every play. You're not. And what he's doing, regardless, it's pure insanity that he could be argued the best corner in the game and one of the best, if not, I don't think he's the best receiver in the game, just being real with you.
Top 5 at the
but he's top 5. Okay. Yeah. And that comes to the point where it's just the likelihood of us seeing a young man that could do something like this is purely insane. The only other argument that I would put up would be is that DeLeone Gabriel played elite in big moments.
Yep.
Right? And in those big moments, Joe, you can't take away his team being down 6 and them needing a touchdown and him throwing a back shoulder fade to beat Ohio State for a touchdown. Like, that's a different level of what he did. Right? And I'm not trying to take away from Travis Hunter. People hate that it's a quarterback award. I'm with you, right? Like, I get it. Let's not act as if that he doesn't have some very fierce competition in here. And I think it is DeLeone Gabriel, Joe. I think, without a question, I think he's been arguably the best quarterback in the country this year. I know Cam Ward's doing some ridiculous things, but when it comes to actually things being taken care of and doing the right thing, Gabriel has been that guy for me throughout the year. I'm with you. If I had a vote, I would vote Travis Hunter. But there's absolute, because what he does is on a different level. I just think that for me, I'm going to be real with you. I have 1, and then I have a 1C. I think he's right there with Travis this year. I really do.
Okay.
Again, like last week, Joe, what he did in those 4 touchdown passes. This kid is really good. So, and I biased. I love lefty quarterbacks. It's a thing.
I want to add this in too. They keep bringing up the history. I don't disagree on DeLeone Gabriel, by the way. For him, if Travis Hunter didn't exist, I think DeLeone Gabriel would win it over Ashton Jeanty.
I 100% agree.
Again,
and Cam Ward.
Jeanty's numbers are unbelievable. He had a great season, but he had 1 game against Oregon as his only performance against the Power 4 team, and the rest of it is against the Mountain West and G5 FCS opponents. The only other running backs that have had the same level of statistical trajectory that he has. This is the craziest part, by the way, that needs to be brought up. The rarity of what Travis Hunter has done is untouchable. But Jeanty's not even the first guy to accomplish the amount of yards that he's rushed for. The Kevin Smith and Melvin Gordon are ahead of him, as well as obviously Barry Sanders. Melvin Gordon didn't win the award. It was Marcus Mariota back in 2014. And Kevin Smith, I don't even think was a nominee from UCF. So we need to contextualize the performances and who they were going up against and remind ourselves that one guy was doing it on a much more difficult plane and was doing something that is far less accomplishable. Maybe if Jeanty played a little bit of safety, we could have a different discussion here.
I'm going to be real with you. It's going to take somebody very special, Steve McNair, Jerry Rice type of stuff. And that kid can one day be that. I'm not saying he can't. There comes a different point for me, Joe, that this kid's running against, like you said, somebody that's going to be working at Enterprise in 6 months.
Right.
I mean, Wyoming, brother, we're talking about him getting in a dogfight and getting shut down in the second half and really got locked down in the second half versus UNLV. I mean, they couldn't score. I mean, like,
they didn't score in the second half. No,
they didn't score in the second half. You're right. So listen, man, I love running backs. I love a good running back. It's just I don't know here. Can I be real with you? You're gonna hate me for this. You're gonna hate me.
Okay.
I would have given it. I would have, if you asked me my opinion. Don't yell at me. I would have put DeLeone Sampson ahead of him.
That I won't concede. Because
the only reason I say that is the dude had 300 rushing yards against Georgia and Bama combined. By the way, he had 5 total touchdowns. There's a difference in going up against Wyoming. There's a completely different thing going up against Georgia, Bama, Arkansas. By the way, oh, they played Vandy. Hold on 1 second. Vandy was a top 40 run defense.
My only pushback on that is that there was such a separation in the stats that would
not Jeanty,
touchdowns similar, but rushing yards was so much larger than what DeLeone Sampson had that comes into the equation here. Like obviously the level of talent is certainly.
You think DeLeone Sampson would have gotten that if he played against Wyoming?
I don't know. Actually, I legitimately don't know.
You know, good guy.
Well, we have to contextualize though that
Joe, if he's running for 150, if he's running for 150 and 2 touchdowns against Georgia, do you think he can't do that against Wyoming?
I don't know. I can't say that with certainty.
Oh,
well, okay, but here's where I push back. DeLeone Sampson is
Tennessee
going to
fans
be.
Never send him a bottle of whiskey. He hates the state of Tennessee.
Stop it. DeLeone Sampson.
You're
is
picking
going
Ohio
to be,
State tonight, and you're telling me that.
Yeah, I am. DeLeone Sampson is going to be a top 200 draft pick. Ashton Jeanty is going to be a top 15 draft pick. There's a difference in the talent level, so I can't say with confidence
if
that
DeLeone Sampson falls anything below the 3rd round, he's the biggest steal of the draft.
He's fine. He's a really good runner. For
the last time y'all said this, hold on. The last time y'all said this about a Tennessee running back, you know who it was?
Who was it?
Alvin Kamara.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your #1 source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.